Mulder investigates a small Vermont town being tormented by a raven-like spirit.
Is all well in this cozy town, or does it hide dark secrets?
Edgar Allan Poe, anyone?
Edgar Allan Poe. Definitely the inspiration for the episode tonight. Actually, no. No, I don't think it is that.
Probably not.
There's no telltale heart in this. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Anything with a raven, you gotta assume.
Well, funny fact.
He has a monopoly on that.
There are no ravens in this episode.
Uh-oh.
There are crows in this episode because they are easier to work with, apparently.
Yep.
But no, they look like ravens. They're meant to look like ravens. Ravens have a really freaky call. Have you heard ravens call?
I probably have. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, well, this is a challenge for future Mike to insert a audio clip of a raven cawing so that you and I will be amazed. So here it is. What did you think of that sound, Mike?
Whoa. Crazy.
It is crazy. Yes, ravens are crazy. They sound like small children kind of wailing. It is a little bit weird. So crows are a different thing. But I appreciate what the episode tries to do. This is Chimera, 16th episode of season 7. And it's written by David Amon. Do you remember other episodes that he has written?
Squeeze?
No. Try again.
No. What? I don't know. A bunch. A couple.
4 in total, including this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Which ones?
Aguamala.
Okay.
Terms of Endearment.
Mm.
And DPO Part 2, otherwise known as Rush.
Rush. Okay, cool.
The other story, though, is Cliff Bowl, the director of this episode. He's done some pretty great episodes, actually. He's done Small Potatoes, Bad Blood, and will eventually do Jump the Shark.
Nice. I think Jump the Shark gets hate for no reason, but
well, probably because it alludes to the Happy Days moment, but
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, is this Arcadia Part 2 the idea behind it?
Is this Arcadia Part 2?
Perfectville?
I mean, kinda, but a little less over the top. I wouldn't say everyone's in on it. I would say that it's just people have their secrets and they want to believe something is truly perfect in their own little worlds, but everyone's got skeletons in their closet.
They do.
That's more like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's in its heart. It's basically a love triangle, where they've got a wronged person who is getting some vengeance. But I do like the twist on it. I will say that this is another episode where the leads, Duchovny and Anderson, are busy directing episodes, Hollywood AD and all things. So the producers needed to create a scenario where they could let one of the actors be very efficient in their shooting, and then the other actor could sort of carry the episode. So in this case, Mulder is carrying the episode and Scully has a very bit part.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you wanted to say about this show before we roll on?
I kind of like the framing of this episode where she's kind of left to investigate this one particular crime, and she's kind of stuck doing surveillance on it. I thought that was kind of a neat way to get her out of the script. Well, and it was a little bit humorous too.
Well, it's my favorite part of the episode. To be fair, you're going to hear a lot of quotes for that interaction, just because the different circumstances they're in. Like, she's in a terrible situation, and he is essentially being pampered. Is quite fun,
right? Yeah.
All right. Well, let's say we take a trip to Vermont and not Virginia, like I thought. Are you ready to go to Bethany, Vermont?
Sounds good, man.
Okay. Well, we open on Easter Sunday in Bethany, Vermont, and not Virginia, like somebody might assume. It's a beautiful day as we hear kids playing in the background, and the camera treks past a massively abundant table, piled to the brim with food, flowers, and festivity. Martha is setting it up as a friend carrying a baby comes by, praising Martha for her work. The kids are going to remember this forever. Martha looks past her friend to see a woman bringing a salad in Tupperware, dressed not as conservatively as everyone else. I hope there are some things they won't remember, says Martha with a look of concern on her face. What is she doing here? Jenny comes over, and Ellen is fine with it, but Martha is not. Meanwhile, we begin to follow a little girl. This is Michelle, Martha's daughter. She walks around looking for Easter eggs. On the other side of a white picket fence, she finds another one, then hears something out in the back 40. She walks through the misty woods, hearing the sounds of a bird, until eventually she finds it. A crow, or indeed, perhaps, a raven, who flies past and scares her almost into Jenny's arms. The girl drops her basket, runs away, while Jenny looks on with a scowl. Later, Martha, the little mother of the little girl, is on the phone to her husband. The girl's shaken and wants to be with her dad, but he can't come home early. Hanging up, she sees that a window's been left open. Curtains pushing in on the window. She closes the window, but senses a presence. In the adjacent room, a crow sits atop the mantelpiece, and caws, again, possibly a raven, caws startling Martha. There's a second looking very ominously. Suddenly, the mirror above the mantel seems to bend inward and smashes into shards. Behind Martha, a tall, ghoul-like form appears and descends on her, and her screams. Credits. Well, what did you think?
There's a lot going on in this.
There's opening. A lot. Laying the scene pretty thick.
I like not the jumbled nature of it. I think you get the juxtaposition of the darkness of the crows, obviously the forest, and the moody lady kind of looking on, kind of cast against the Easter Sunday happy-go-lucky setting. So I do enjoy that, and I think that's what I picked up most my first time viewing. And then I was wondering, what the hell's up with this bird? That's what's going on, man.
Well, it's not unlike the X-Files to throw you a curveball. And the curve in this case is the bird.
Yeah.
The bird is the word. So
is the word.
I do like that the open serves a lot of functions, and it does it in exposition light. It doesn't sort of start with, I'm thinking of Thief, and get a chance to spend the night with the Bay Area's finest brain surgeon, It doesn't drop quite that laden amount of exposition. It just tells us what we need to know through the visuals. Martha is a hugely big homemaker, the presence of the food and such, the appearance is huge for her. She doesn't like Jenny, who is there for some reason. Jenny looks like a tramp in comparison to everybody else. So it's clearly, uptown, downtown kind of happening there. And we have a very short interaction between them, which cements that. And then later on, Jenny being there in a scary moment with Michelle, the daughter, casting her as our obvious villain. So we're doing a lot of work of who is who in this little town and what their roles are. And then it encapsulates with a horrible assault.
Yes.
So yeah, a lot of things being happening in this cold open.
Absolutely.
We'll see if it comes to anything. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before I move on?
No, I thought that was a great summation, man.
Oh, well, thank you. Anytime you want to say things like that, I'll be fine.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, we come back from the open. The camera is viewing through a lens at a street sign above a perfectly legitimate establishment proclaiming it has dirty dames available, all nude. A lineup of scantily clad prostitutes stands outside. We see it's Mulder looking through the lens. A poorly maintained van pulls up. Jeeves' Saves is written on the hood, and one of the women walks over and talks to the driver. Back with Mulder, we see that he and Scully, who arrives with coffee, are in Southeast Washington, D.C., and Scully brings us up on the plot.
She'll come. Matter of time.
I hope you realize there's no evidence whatsoever that this mystery woman of yours has even committed a crime. Though her wardrobe comes close.
6 prostitutes were seen with their dirty dames, never to be seen again. Not only might she be a female serial killer, rare in and of itself, but twice police raided that club to arrest her.
And twice they came up empty-handed.
She's on tape going in. The exits are covered. She's nowhere to be found. What happens to her? She disappeared, turn invisible?
Well, I hope we catch her so she can tell us. Before I have to spend another night here. You know, Mulder, I don't know about you, but I find this all very depressing. This round-the-clock exposure to the seamy underbelly.
It's a job, Scully. Vigilance in the face of privation, the sheer will that it takes to sit in this crappy room, spying on the dregs of society until our suspect surfaces. There is something ennobling in that. Mulder. Now? All right. I gotta go.
Mulder?
And Mulder walks out and arrives at FBI headquarters to meet with A.D. Walter Skinner, who introduces us to a bit more plot. And I could just sum it, but really, I think it's probably just easier to let Skinner give us this particular nugget.
2 weeks ago, a woman named Martha Crittenden disappeared from her home in Bethany, Vermont. Local police haven't turned up any sign of her. I'm hoping you may be able to.
I'm already on a case.
You're on a stakeout. I'm confident Agent Scully can continue in your absence.
Why? What did I do?
There may be aspects to this that speak to your strengths as an investigator.
Specifically?
Ravens. What do you know about them? Their mythological or paranormal significance.
Well, the raven is considered a very powerful symbol in certain Norse, Celtic, and Native American cultures, mostly a negative one. Indians view it as a deceiving spirit. Christianity mostly associates it with evil. And then, of course, there's Poe's Raven and Nevermore and all that stuff.
Martha Crittenden's 7-year-old daughter claimed that she was attacked by a raven earlier the day her mother disappeared. Later, she heard one inside the house before she discovered her mother was missing.
No, really, what did I do?
It's the only lead that hasn't been explored. I want to know if it has any bearing on the case.
I'm also assuming that the fact that Martha Crittenden's father is a federal judge also has a little bearing on this case?
It's been made clear to me that locating her is my top priority. I'm making it yours as well.
I suppose I could just roll out another clip to set the scene, but it's just starting to feel lazy now. We're going to return to Bethany, Vermont, as the camera tracks over the grand property of Martha Crittenden. Sheriff is waiting for Mulder to arrive, Phil Adderley, who's glad that Mulder's come to help. The sheriff doesn't have a theory on what's happened. Martha's disappeared with no ransom note, no prints, no blood evidence. Her husband Howard was out of town when it happened, and the whole town is concerned. Mulder notes how well maintained the house is, joking that Martha's last name could easily be Stewart. Adderley notes that the house made the cover of last year's New England Home. Looking through the living room, Mulder notes the presence of scratch marks on the mantelpiece, asking Adderley how many talons a raven has. He also notes the absence of a mirror, which Adderley confirms was found broken. Howard comes in and joins them, but tells them this might have all been a waste of time. Howard has since found something, a container of birth control pills. Howard thinks Martha was having an affair because Howard has had a vasectomy. Howard also found a key in the pocket of her favorite coat, thinking that maybe Martha has run off with whoever she's having the affair with. And this key is kind of neat. It's a really old-timey key with a number 6 on the handle, so it's definitely a quality prop.
Oh,
you're on board so far with the plot, this laying of the scene?
Yeah, I think this is a good one. I think the basic facts are being laid out in a way that's comprehensible, and
yep.
It's not over the top yet. I think the episode itself is doing well to keep you on track here.
I will even credit David and Mann for solving one of my usual gripes with episodes is how and why are the FBI involved in this case?
Yeah.
And they devote some serious time to that, whereas Skinner, rather sheepishly, is basically saying, they're making it my problem, I'm making it your problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nice touch.
It was a nice little turn. Yeah.
Outside, friendly do-gooder neighborhood neighbor Ellen Adderley is placing posters on people's cars. A nearby raven frightens her. And suddenly, Jenny Uphouse, the what's she doing here woman from the pre-credit scene, is there, radiating her dislike. After a tense conversation, Jenny takes some posters to put on, quote, her side of town and leaves. Ellen then sees a monster woman with a creepy face in the reflection of a car window, and the window shatters, frightening her. But Mike, there's no one there.
Oh my God.
So that's our first reveal of the monster, although I guess we had the monster in the pre-credit scene. But now the monster's there in the world. Did first viewing, Mike, have an inkling that maybe the monster, what was the monster?
It's hard to put myself in the place of where I saw this episode. I can't remember what I was thinking with this one. I mean, they want you to dislike,
Jenny Upton, or Jenny Uphouse, as they call her. Yeah. Yeah, she's the obvious foil.
Yeah. But it seemed way too obvious. So I'm like, I don't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, later on, Mulder's at the sheriff's house. Adderley confirms that Martha covered her tracks pretty well, as there weren't any phone records to uncover who she was having an affair with. Mulder has confirmed the scratch marks in the mantle could have been from a raven, which Adderley is not buying. Mulder suggests that in folklore, ravens are companions to evil, not the source. Adderley appreciates Mulder's open line, but reminds us that the raven thing was revealed by a 7-year-old girl. Ellen and their daughter Katie return, and Ellen won't hear of Mulder's sting anywhere but their guest room. Ellen then prepares a feast, a typical meal with wine and candles. Scully calls and reveals her own special hell. The furnace is broken, and it looks like it's generally a gross stakeout. And just to let you know, all my clips are pretty much these Scully interactions because they are the gold of this episode.
In here.
Ouch. Sorry to hear that.
That, and I've witnessed a couple hundred things I'd like to erase from my brain. Ugh. But as of yet, no mystery woman.
Well, she'll come. It's just a matter of time. She'll show up. Sure of that.
Yeah, well, not before I die of malnutrition.
Hey, Scully, tough it out. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? No capers, thank you.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, what a crazy caper. I'll talk to you later, and keep warm, bye.
As Scully shivers with her cold pizza, Mulder tucks in with a fresh glass of wine. Meanwhile, over in the Crittenden household, Howard and his daughter Michelle share a lonely meal of macaroni and cheese. While Michelle reveals that the meal tastes different when Mommy makes it, Howard thinks that's a good cue for dinner out. He sees a raven outside, cawing away. It freaks out Michelle, and Howard goes to investigate. In the yard, Howard sees ravens dining on a hand which has surfaced from the grass of the yard. Commercial. All right, it's the first body reveal. We are moving into second gear here, Mike. How are you feeling?
I'm really focused on the macaroni. And when she said it tastes different when Mommy makes it, and I wanted to ask you, because that's clearly important.
It is. Thank you.
Did this phenomenon ever affect you as a child? Because I think it affected me.
Are we talking specifically macaroni and cheese?
Not just macaroni, anything. Like your mom makes something and then dad tries to make it and it's just not the same. Or your dad makes something and your mom tries to make it, something like that. I think this has happened to me as a child.
I'm sure it's happened to me.
Her explanation that Mommy makes it better, it sounds very familiar to me.
But I have a feeling it has nothing to do with food. In this case, it's just, I'm what she's saying is I'm his mommy,
It's
that's
just perception, yeah.
But it is a pretty sad moment there. And Howard is clearly going to be looking for a new mommy for Michelle because he is failing as a father.
I can't make macaroni.
He is going to get the sympathy vote in Bethany, Vermont. You know, there are going to be a lineup of women that want to help raise this child, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the basis for a new TV show.
Dead body, Andrew.
Dead body. Well, you know, after the commercial, it's a crime scene. Mulder and Dr. Blankenship, the doctor without an actual on-screen name, but a script name. He's the crime scene investigator. They're looking at the body. And I really think this guy's underused. I liked him. I kind of wish that we had more of Dr. Blankenship. I wish they spun off a show for him. He does not know what to make of the marks on the body, other than to say he's seen the victim of a bear attack, but bears don't plant their kills in the rose garden. Oh, pointing there. You're wanting to say something, I can tell.
I don't think the bear analogy is necessary at this point.
It's a bit weird. The only draw I could make was that the level of violence inflicted onto Martha was that of a bear.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, and I get that.
That's the only takeaway I get.
I gotcha.
The body was there for a while, probably from when she was missing. Adderley takes it hard, imagining the consequences, but he does not think Howard did this, especially because Howard wasn't there at the time. So he's not going to be arresting him. Ellen arrives, jumping the police tape and seeing Martha's dead body and not taking it well. She is completely broken up, but then she drops a bombshell of her own. She thinks that she saw the thing that did that to Martha.
Oh my God.
Ellen describes what she saw in the car window. Long claws in the face of a nightmare. When she turned around, it was gone, Mike. Mulder then goes on a bit of a tangent about ravens and mirrors, suggesting that the creature was brought forth to attack Martha. If that's true, who brought the creature forth? Does Ellen know of anyone who would wish Martha any harm? Mike, have we been introduced to anyone in this episode thus far who might not like Martha?
Yeah.
Who? But who?
The big-chested woman on the other side of town.
Chesty McChesterfield? Yes. Yeah. Otherwise known as Jenny Uphouse. So we're going to do a hard cut.
Jenny up top.
Ooh. She is protesting her innocence. Jenny certainly didn't get along with Martha. She didn't like that Martha held herself in such high regard, and thus Jenny in low. But Jenny also heard that Martha was cheating on her husband, so you should look into that. Mulder reveals that Jenny has a police record for assaulting a hair salon owner. But Jenny owns it, says she's paid for that. With a flimsy alibi of being alone at home all night, Jenny goes back to work. Adderley doesn't fit her for the crime, but Mulder's not so sure about her alibi. Mulder then gets another call from Scully, and thus, by contractual obligation, I have to play the clip.
When you find me dead, my desiccated corpse propped up, staring lifelessly through the telescope at drunken frat boys peeing and vomiting into the gutter, just know that my last thoughts were of you, on how I'd like to kill you.
I'm sorry, who is this?
It's a freak show, Mulder. It's a non-stop parade of every single lowlife imaginable.
Well, the view may not be too different here. It's dressed up a little nicer, but underneath the surface it's the same seamy underbelly.
It's not the same, trust me.
You know, Scully, this case has turned out to be a little more interesting than I thought, and I could use your help.
Are you talking about a reprieve for me?
Well, there's a murder victim that I'd like you to autopsy for me. What do you think? Scully? You still there? Hello?
That van is bad.
What? What'd you say?
Nothing, Mueller. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Bravo episode. Bait and switch to think that we're going to get the band back together, but no, Scully ducks out.
I like how her tune changes immediately when she's like, she finally has something remotely interesting to look at, and now she thinks things are heating up.
My time has not been wasted here. Yep. And with that, Scully will not be joining the Raven Patrol in Vermont, and our camera cuts to Ellen running the roller vacuum in the living room. And Mike, this is the second appearance of a roller vacuum in as many episodes?
2 episodes.
Were these hot in 2000?
Not that I know of. My parents never had one. Not that they were up on cleaning supplies, but I mean, roller vacuums I always associated with grandma and grandpa or something. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well,
I would just say no, they're not a hot commodity.
Well, Mike, after a long hiatus, we're blessed to be joined with field researcher Bran, senior field researcher Bran, in the chat. And Bran, I charge you to do a little research on the roller vacuum. Was it a hot commodity in 2000? Will we be seeing more roller vacuums as X-Files episodes roll out? Let us know what you got. So she is rolling her vacuum around. She encounters a key under the chair. It's the same key Howard found in Martha's coat, number 6 on it. She hears a raven in another room and goes to investigate. In her baby's room, we see the raven perched on the baby's crib. Ellen grabs Katie and begins to leave, but she sees the reflection of our monster in the nearby mirror. The mirror smashes into shards, sending Ellen fleeing. Another mirror shows us the monster's reflection as it chases her, and again the mirror smashes into pieces. Ellen flees for the safety of the hall closet, hushing her baby as she prays the monster won't find them. A shadow outside suggests she's about to be discovered. She holds the door tight against it. It's being opened. Suddenly it's forced open, but it's only Sheriff Adderley, gun at the ready.
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support.
What an intense scene. Later, the deputies dust the baby's room for prints as Mulder searches the scene. Ellen's exhausted, but Mulder decides to ask some questions. She says the creature came back, and she insists that it chased her. Adderley and Mulder go aside to chat. Adderley thinks that these are imaginings as there are no indications of an intruder. For the mirrors, he thinks that maybe she broke them herself. Mulder spots something, the key that Ellen found, but Adderley doesn't know what it's doing here. We have an ominous hold on Adderley as Mulder goes to ask Ellen about it. So clearly Adderley knows a little something about that key. Ellen says she found the key before she was attacked. Adderley suggests that he can have his department run it down to find out what lock it fits. So that's convenient, hey?
I wouldn't be so confident in that one key you're going to figure out what it goes to. I don't know.
Especially in the Vermont Police Department. You think they've got key resources there?
They've got all the resources available.
We'll take it to the locks room. We'll try it in every lock we got. All right, we got a report back from senior field researcher Brand saying that roller vacuums are still a hot commodity. Looks like Ryobi, the drill maker, and Dyson, the space technology-based home cleaning solution, are two of many companies still offering the classic, but improved, roller vacuum. Thank you, Brand. Very much appreciate it.
Wait a minute.
And
are those like
value listeners,
non-powered?
Non-powered. That is an important note, but I have a feeling that this is an unpowered roller vacuum.
Well, yeah, it should be unpowered. So I'd be surprised if Ryobi or even Dyson, maybe. I don't know. That's interesting.
Well, we might have an addendum here. I see some typing going on. Gentle listeners, if you would also like to see the comedy stylings of senior field researcher Brand, feel free to join us in our live recordings. We record pretty much every other Tuesday. For details, of course, check us in our Facebook group, The Syndicate, where you can be a member. And as you know, at the end of the show, we throw polls to help your voices be heard on the episode, blah-de-da-da-da. All right, further, they are powered. Roller vacuums, often referred to as upright vacuums, use rotating brushes or rollers to agitate dirt and debris from carpets and floors. They don't necessarily need to be powerless, Mike.
Oh, interesting.
Clearly, that is an innovation.
Good to know.
From the 15s on, that they were powered roller vacuums, but in 2000, they didn't have that level of technology.
I guess when I think roller vacuums, I just think of that plasticky roller wheel going back and forth on the rug.
Used to great effect in this and in thief.
Absolutely.
Plot points in both of those, actually. Yeah. Okay, well, we continue on, and it's late at night. It's 12:38, in fact, as we can see from the clock by the bed, as we see Sheriff Adderley get out of bed in the middle of the night and leaves his sleeping wife, Ellen. The camera shows us the Pineview Lodge, its neon sign advertising vacancies, as Adderley approaches cabin number 6, and he uses the key to open the door. Inside, he's embraced by Jenny Uphouse, and he declares that he just can't do this anymore. However, he's easily convinced by Jenny that maybe he can do this just one more time. At least once more. As they move their passion to the bed, the camera tracks upward to show us a series of mirrors mounted on the ceiling, showing us just how classy this joint really is as we fade to commercial. Well,
you have a problem with mirrors on the ceiling?
No, I've got them. I just like to tell you how classy it is.
You've got them.
Doesn't everybody?
I mean, Mulder does.
He does. And they're there for a reason. I mean, yep. They let you know what side of the bed you're on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No other purpose.
Huh. Interesting. More popular than I thought.
All right. So what do we know about Sheriff Adderley? He said, moving the conversation elsewhere. He's clearly knows more than he said he did about the keys, and thus he is suspect. Did you at this point also fit him for the affair with Martha?
No. I didn't see that coming necessarily, but yeah, I mean, when it happens, you're like, okay, now things are falling into place. You kind of, you after the fact are like, okay, now I see what's going on.
I mean, what we really come to learn is that Sheriff Adderley is a son of a bitch because, I mean...
Son of a bitch.
Look at what he is about to encounter at home, because back from commercial, we fade into hollandaise sauce being poured over Eggs Benedict as Ellen serves up a typical breakfast for Mulder. Mulder couldn't find his shirt. Ellen has laundered it, which helps her as it gives her the illusion of control. Ellen serves Mulder some coffee. Again, this is the woman that Phil Adderley is cheating on with no less than 2 other women. So, I don't know. It seems to me like he's the son of a bitch for stepping out on that. But And Ellen's a looker, too. I don't understand. She must have some serious... Oh, wait. Yeah, she's psycho. Okay, I forgot about that.
She's a nut bag.
Yeah, okay. Well, she notes that Mueller doesn't seem to have anyone taking care of him. And also, in passing, notes that Phil is likely out on a call. He doesn't have a significant other. And she advises that he really shouldn't overlook it. It could be a refuge for him. And I gotta say, I thought this was an interesting little diversion from the episode. Like using Ellen to out Mulder as a lonely heart. I don't know. I thought it was actually quite touching.
Yeah?
Did it register much for you, or is it just like, it's a little aside?
I mean, if anyone's going to notice subtleties about Mulder, it's going to be a woman like this who's very in tune with her surroundings and her idyllic life, or what she perceives to be an idyllic life.
Yeah.
So I think her kind of keying in on Mulder's loneliness or solitary lifestyle is, it fits. I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. Well, Adderley arrives, noting he was out in a call because they're a deputy down. Mueller lowers the cage onto Adderley. He heard him go out last night, all night, and also heard back from the coroner that Martha Crittenden was 4 weeks pregnant, despite her birth control pills. Does Adderley have any idea, just asking out of curiosity, who the father might be? Adderley challenges Mulder to say what's on his mind, but Mulder only asks Adderley to return the key he took, the evidence that he was looking at. Adderley's mum on the subject, and he goes off to take a shower. And we have a brief moment where he's in the shower looking in the mirror, because they like to bring back the theme of the mirror. Good for you, David Amon. Meanwhile, over in the Pineview Lodge, Jenny's on the phone with who we assume is her little boy, explaining that she had to work a double shift and is on her way home to make him some breakfast. She hears ravens outside and sees them on the fence. Suddenly, the overhead mirror smashes into pieces and she's set on by the monster, who begins to choke her. Jenny grabs a shard and stabs the monster in the neck, but the monster retaliates with a vicious swipe with its taloned fingers. So, that's it for Jenny. Jenny exits stage right.
It seems like that's the end of Jenny.
Yeah.
But she gets a good jab in there with that shard of glass. That makes my fucking shoulder hurt just watching that go.
Yeah, just seeing that happen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, later on, a crime scene. Mulder confirms the key opens the crime scene door and confronts Adderley about it. Adderley spills the beans. He cops to the affair, both with Martha and Jenny, but he left Jenny sleeping. He cared about both of them, and even if Ellen knew, she'd find a way to rationalize it. Adderley explains his backstory with a little exposition. 2 years ago, he wanted a divorce, but Ellen wouldn't hear of it, getting pregnant with Katie and, as he says, locking him up good. He pleads his innocence and then becomes quite the believer in Mulder's theory about the ravens and the mirrors. Could he be the reason for all this and not even know about it? And I think the answer is
interesting. That's an interesting turn.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that he goes to the paranormal to help understand what's happening. And
I see it as a desperate man. Just be like, wait, you said, you said mirrors and ravens.
Well, he's absolutely desperate. But I kind of like the last ditch effort to explain what's happening.
Yeah. Well, we cut to the Adderley household, where Sheriff Phil is leaving a message on their machine. The camera tracks over to the machine and their lovely family photo. Mulder's on his way to talk to her. Ellen, however, misses it all, coming home with Katie to put her down for a nap and have a shower. We see over Ellen's shoulder the stab mark that Jenny left for her, and we go to commercial. Oh no, we now know Ellen is the monster. At which point I'm going to allude to the issue I have with the episode, which I think you can guess what it is. Would you like to try and guess what my issue is with the episode?
You're confused or bothered by the fact that she somehow has all the answers and knows where these women are and what's happening and goes to kill them instantaneously whilst being across town.
Actually, no, I'm okay with that because the timing does work out. Like, she arrives back from somewhere. She missed the message and she comes back. So clearly she was out killing Jenny at the time.
Right.
And I'm even okay with her. She knows everything. Like, this is a small town. The information gets around. She can be super perceptive. She can know what the significance of the key with the 6 is. Has had it, is able to get there and know where the dirty deeds go down or whatever. But, and keeps it from herself. She has this split personality, so she's able to segment it so that the murderous part of herself can act with that knowledge, but the innocent version of herself can be completely separate from it. She can just justify, I was out with Katie for a walk, and not remember the fact she'd done the killing. No, my issue is the transformation to the monster.
Okay.
Do you have a speculation about this transformation ability?
Are you asking what I think you think it is, or what I think it is?
I'm asking what you think it is. I know what I think it is, but you don't have to tell me.
Well, I mean, I think it comes with a level of stress for me. I would imagine with someone with split personality, if they undergo a certain level of stress, that is kind of a triggering effect on their psyche to the point where they become something or act in ways that are out of the norm for who they are as a person. So in her case, she's a murderer as a split personality. So I think as the tensions begin to mount, she knows her husband's off doing something and she has her speculations as to what it is. And it just becomes, moment to moment, it becomes harder and harder to bear, and it comes out in this form. That's kind of how I view it. I don't think she chooses to do it. I think it is very involuntary, but it's obviously she's such a good person day to day that she can't fathom what's actually happening on her split personality. I don't think she's I don't think she's planning it or doing it. And obviously, she's freaked out by the gash on her shoulder. She doesn't know where it came from.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of view it like that, where it's just like mounting stress that she continues to try to tamp down, but she can't do it.
I 100% agree with you. My issue is the monster aspect that they decide to give her with the long talons and the hair body and the stringy hair and all the rest of it. Her face is kind of weirdo. So I guess what I'm asking, is it magic that is the transformation, or is it sort of werewolfy that her body makes a physical transformation? Like, what do you think the nature of that is?
I'm willing to give it a little bit more. I don't think she goes through a physical change. I think it is who she is that's tamping down. This is the creature in her that she's pushing down and doesn't. I think it might be for the audience. I don't think it's necessarily that she's transforming.
Well, Mike, I will tell you that is exactly what I think.
Okay.
And I'm going to save the majority of what I'm thinking for final thoughts, but I actually don't think that there is a physical werewolfy type transformation going on in this episode. At least that's the only way it makes sense to me, because if it is, they completely ignore it. Mm-hmm. There is zero, hey, we found some weird hair samples and there's this piece of talon stuck in the mantelpiece that doesn't look like a raven. So what's up with that? No, they don't do any of that. And I'm kind of glad they don't, because if they did, I think it would stand out like a sore thumb. And they need to explain it. Yeah. But they don't, so I think it's a better episode.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to put a pin in that and come back to it later if that's okay.
Absolutely, sir.
All right. So we're coming back from commercial, and we see Ellen is done with her shower. And honestly, it's a bit of an indictment for Fox that they've just completely given up on trying to inject sex into this show. I mean, there was a perfect opportunity here for the camera to luxuriate over Ellen in her shower, but they're done with that. When was the last time they did that?
Well, we just had a close-up of Scully's boob.
It lasted for
15 seconds.
It did not last for 15 seconds. It lasted for maybe 1 second.
I think it was longer than that.
Okay, but
I mean, at least in the director's cut.
The director's cut, there was a whole thing. No, I'm thinking about some season 1 episodes where, like, literally there's candles and, running the bath, and walking around. None of that happens anymore. What is happening at Fox? And in 2000,
they're too busy spreading bullshit.
Yeah, it must be what it is. Okay. Anyway, Ellen is putting her hair up when she detects the injury on her shoulder, which confuses her. She flashes back to the fight with Jenny and stares into the mirror. Everything is coming into focus. Meanwhile, Mulder arrives back at the house, only to receive the final call from Scully in this episode. She finishes the case, but it wasn't an X-file. Rather, it turns out the 6 missing prostitutes are alive and well in a halfway house, taken there by Mark Egbert, who dresses up as a fellow prostitute and takes them to teach them the good word. The subtlety of being hidden in plain sight gives Mulder the idea maybe Ellen is the monster. He knocks on her door, and Ellen tells him to go away. In our final clip.
Ellen, Jenny Uphouse is dead. Your husband is in custody, suspected of murdering her, only I don't think he did it. Do you? Ellen, you went out this morning after breakfast. Where'd you go?
It's not me. It can't be.
I think it is. Ellen, I think you have a whole other side that you're afraid to face. That would explain all the broken mirrors. You don't want to see yourself for what you really are. Ellen, you have to come out of there.
Then what? My marriage, my life, everything I thought I had is nothing. It's all lies. I wish you'd never come here.
Ellen, you need to open this door.
Mulder takes out his gun, ready to burst in, when suddenly the door opens, revealing the monster in its gross glory. It disarms Mulder, hurling him across the wall and battering him into the bathroom, finally throwing him into the bathtub full of water, where it proceeds to drown him. It looks like it's the end for Mulder, as his movements go ever more still, but this only makes the surface of the water become more like a mirror. The monster sees its own reflection, stunned to see itself for what might be the first time, and it flees. Mulder feebly emerges from the water, gasping for breath. His gaze leads to Ellen Adderley, comatose in the corner of the bathroom. We cut to our final scene, the pleasant grounds of the Deschamps County Psychiatric Hospital. Inside, Mulder finishes up what appears to be an unproductive meeting with Ellen, going to talk with Phil. The doctors say she's got a dissociative disorder, split personality, and Mulder agrees that that's as close as science will get. Mulder sums up the episode that Ellen found out Phil was cheating and she had to rationalize it, but she bottled up her anger, swallowed it, and had to come out in the most outlandish way possible. We end the episode with Ellen standing up to see a raven at the window, seemingly speaking to Ellen, who stares back intently, and we fade out. So, Mike, that is Chimera, or Chimera, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Chimera.
User, have the first of our final thoughts. Please lay it on me.
I like the episode. I think it's straightforward. It's not super convoluted. It's not trying to do anything that seems unnecessary. I think it's a simple enough story. When it gets to the end, you're like, okay, this is what's happening. It's just a cute little way to tell that love triangle story, an X-Files way to tell that story. And I think, all in all, I think the effects are pretty good. I like the mirrors smashing when the creature becomes visible. I like that she wasn't aware that it was herself doing these awful things, because it's one of those things where you do kind of see this person as someone who would be so consumed about keeping up an image or believing themselves to be the best person possible, while the worst of them can come out at the worst times. So I like the way it falls together. I like the character. I think she's believable in that role. And more than anything, I like that they kind of allude to it when her husband says, she'll rationalize anything. That kind of is a sneak peek into what's about to be revealed. So I liked the way they wrote that one. So all in all, good episode. A little bit forgettable just in the sense, there are so many other better episodes, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree with everything. I think it's not a bad episode. I don't think it's, as you say, it's not great. I think it's mostly because it's not the dynamic duo as we usually have them. They're usually together, chewing on some ethical dilemma or sparring over the facts, but we don't have that here. It can work. It usually works best when we have them plus some special guest characters like the lone gunman, or if we have Skinner there to also raise attention. We don't have that here. So it's a different kind of episode, but I think it's one of the better plots where they follow the adage of don't try and do everything. Like, it is one simple story that they tease out to some interesting places, as opposed to 2 or 3 different stories they try and jam together. As I alluded to earlier, if I had a complaint, it's the spontaneous and unexplained transformation of Ellen into the monster. If we go with the idea, however, that the audience is sharing Ellen's point of view, that anytime the monster is in view, we see what Ellen is seeing, then everything is fine. I think it actually works really, really well. Because at no point does the episode specify there are these odd claw marks or strange hairs that have been dropped at the crime scene. They don't really try and explain her form. I think that they want to use that kind of vaguely as her mental state, that she has turned into a monster by her intense rage. So it doesn't have to be that there isn't a transformation per se. Rather, it's just how Ellen perceives herself. And if that's the case, then the problem is that it's not adequately clear. For example, in our final fight scene, if there were moments where Mulder's clearly being attacked by Ellen and they're intercut with scenes where he's being attacked by the monster, then I think maybe it'd be a little clearer that he's actually seeing Ellen and not the monster.
Yeah.
Because her seeing the monster in mirrors, she's seeing herself. I mean, that makes total sense. So I actually dig that. I think it's a really neat take.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I don't think we need it explained. I think it is fine the way it is. And I'm glad, like you are, that they don't have mysterious claw marks or fibers they can't detect. But this works for me. I like that it's a little bit interpretive, and I'm okay with that for this episode. It makes sense whichever way you want to go with it, and I enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's a classic callback to X-Files writing. Where, there's a bad guy, there's a mystery, there's a climax, and a resolution that suggests that maybe this evil can't ever really be stopped. And Mike, if the ratings are good enough, maybe there's a sequel, right?
Yeah. Chimera
2, the Chimera.
Yes.
What do you make of the Ravens, though? That's the one thing that sort of stuck out for me, is this using the Ravens as a device.
I mean, it's just something to be creepy, I guess. Yeah. I don't know that it really means anything other than Mulder saying it's an accompaniment to evil. It's not really the purveyor or the committer of evil. It's just something like a sidekick, essentially. I guess they're trying to say that they're just drawn to her energy, and the evil's about to come out or something.
That must be it. I mean, the only other possible thing I could have an issue with would be the mirror on the ceiling spontaneously exploding. I get that they were saying that maybe she smashed all the mirrors, so it seems that she's able to smash the mirrors as an ability, but I don't know. I don't need to delve too deep and hard into that one. That's a touch they wanted to have.
Yeah.
And it's Cliff Bowl, so I can't be really bad on that,
No. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. I will say that Bran in chat here said the episode title makes me think something else is there, the way chimerism in genetics is a totally different makeup cell line existing in another body, exposed only in medically significant events like organ transplants or offspring. Very, very astute, sir.
Interesting point. I didn't really think about why they used this title. I mean, that can be a little game we play, is to try and tease out the title choices. But I guess that's as good as any, really. I like it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I like it.
Okay. Well, that's all from me, Mike. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, or shall I just give you the final word?
I think just, ladies and gentlemen, if something's stressing you out, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to do breathing exercises, maybe a little exercise in general. Get that stress out so you do not snap and start killing people. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at TINHXFilesPod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.